What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, there is still a channel to come back to, believe it or not. In today's video, we are going to be summoning for the first ever UE fighters in the King of Fighters All-Star. Yes, that's right, you guys. We are going to be summoning on UE Volume 1 for the 5th anniversary Volume 2. A mouthful, and we are going to be summoning primarily for Ash, let's be honest, but also for Maki Kagura. Yes, that's right, you guys, we have a Volume 1 banner here. If you haven't noticed, we are going to have a Volume 2 banner, presumably next week, featuring Saiki and Kusanagi, which is where all those juicy rubies you see on my screen are going to be going to. In today's video, instead of using our rubies, we are going to be using all of the tickets that they gave us, and we are also not just going to be summoning for these characters here as well as their cards using those tickets, but we are also going to be going for a third UE character. That is right, you guys. We have Magaki in the game, and he is going to be an event banner. I mean, could be worse, right? But before we go ahead and get into all of that and more, make sure if you guys haven't already done so, you smash that like button and subscribe, and let's just go ahead and get into today's video. Man, it's been a while since I've said all of that stuff, any of that stuff. Missed you guys. So anyway, you guys, welcome back to the channel. I apologize, it has been a while. There's been a lot of reasons as to why, but I definitely appreciate everybody who has DM'd me, sent me emails, or just tried to get a hold of me in general and sent me well wishes and asked how I'm doing and yada yada yada. I wish I could tell you guys, like I've told everybody in the Discord at this point, I wish I could tell you guys that it's anything super entertaining, but to keep it short and simple and sweet, being an adult sucks. We'll just go with that. But in today's video, we are not going to be an adult. We are going to be irresponsible and summon for characters in a game using our online currencies, but it's not going to be so bad in this one. It'll be the next video where we're going to get a little wet and wild. But let's just go ahead and talk about these tickets, right? So with all of these tickets here, there's a lot going on. We are going to be using a lot of these. So as you guys can see, we have a grand total, I believe, of 11 multis for the fighters. And then we have, I believe, just shy of 11 multis for the, let's see, for the battle cards. Yeah. So we don't have quite 11 for the battle cards, but that's okay. So overall, we have a lot of multis to use. We have about half of a pity for the fighters at this point that we're going to be going in just purely on tickets. Now, when it comes to these two banners, I already kind of mentioned it. I'm mainly interested in Ash Crimson. Ash is the character of the two that I'm most interested in. I'm not really all that like enamored with this new UE thing. I think that it's a fun little gimmick. I appreciate the fact that they didn't throw it at us in such a way that it's going to require us to spend a bunch more money, rubies, etc. in order to be able to build these characters. So definitely kudos to Netmarble on that. And I was going to make this video yesterday, but by the way, I couldn't even log into the game because yesterday there were so many server errors. It was ridiculous. And I know a lot of us had that issue. So for me personally, this video should have been out yesterday. But hey, you know what? We're just doing it today. I held off for all of you guys. But, you know, with that said, this update in general, pretty good. I'm happy that they, again, did not go crazy with the way that you build up these UE characters. I think we were all kind of mainly just worried about that. That was kind of the big concern when it came to introducing another rarity tier or whatever the case may be. But these characters can go up to A9, and they do have some new gimmicks. They look really good under the hood. There's a lot going on with these characters. I'm not going to go in and break each one of them down. I'll do kind of a separate video depending on how this goes for each character if I'm lucky enough to get them and can actually use them in content. But with that said, I'm mainly focused on the second volume banner again with Saiki and Kusanagi. So this one I'm only going to go so far on until I at least see the kits for the other characters. But I can tell you right now, both of these characters look insane. I believe that Maki's probably going to end up being the bigger support of the two. She's kind of just going to be a support on steroids at that point, but also, let's face it, probably going to be a great damage dealer. I have admittedly not seen any content on her yet. I don't really know anybody who has built her up yet, personally. So if you guys have her and you built her, let me know in the comment section if she is more than just a super uber support. But overall, I think she's probably going going to be able to hold her own with the damage, just based on the fact that the CP on these characters, as well as the stats and the multipliers on them, are just insane by proxy of the fact that they're Ultra Ego characters, right? Yes, I'm going to continue calling them Ultra Ego characters until the end of time. Yes, I'm a Dragon Ball nerd, get off me. But we also have a third character here, and this is where we're going to start. We're going to start with Magaki. So Magaki is going to be on that comes on special occasions banner. They use this term each time, that comes on special occasion. That which comes on special occasions would probably flow off of the tongue a little bit better. But hey, you know what? Who am I to judge, right? So if you guys didn't notice when we pulled this up earlier, there is going to be more than just Magaki in here, but of course Magaki is going to be here and he is going to be the focus. He looks absolutely insane. Magaki is a character that I've never really cared that much for, like in general, because let's face it, there isn't a whole lot to go on when it comes to an actual character with this character in the lore, but he looks so much like a Zoalord from Guyver that I'm here for it, right? So I definitely want to get Magaki. He looks really interesting. And you know, we also got Mukai in here as the free character. He was really fun, but Magaki looks to me, when it comes to this update, to be kind of so far the more interesting of all of them, as far as kind of just the way that they play, the things that they're doing. I don't know, he's just different. He hits a little bit different, so I'm kind of curious to be able to get my hands on him. But he also is going to feature his special card here on the banner as well. So yeah, as you guys can see, going to be some cool stuff in here that we can get, but there's also going to be some junk, right? So of course you got to have your filler. So we have the filler there, and yeah, we have enough to go to the pity. The mileage here, you guys can see, we do get a selector, and the selector is actually good for, and this is, I believe, the first time they've done this. It's good for not just the fighter, but also any one of the card effects that you want. So you can get any one of the cards you want for the finisher that we just talked about, and you can get the character. Really, really cool stuff. So that is what we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to start here. We're just going to go in. We're going to hope that we can maybe get a memory for him along the way. If we can do that, great stuff. If we can get a finisher along the way, great stuff, because then we can just pick him and still be able to use him plus his finisher. You guys know how this works. So let's just go ahead. We'll go to the first pity here. We'll see what we get. I'm expecting a lot of filler. Historically speaking, these banners have not been great to me. But you know what? It is what it is. Hey, look, more purple skip tickets. Who needs more of those, right? I don't know about you guys, but I am good on purple skip tickets at this point. So yeah, overall, guys, I'm really happy with this update. There's a lot in this update. I mean, a lot. There's a lot of stuff in this update. It feels like over the course of the past year, they've just kind of held off on giving us the content that they've been developing, and we're just getting it all in one big content dump here for the anniversary, which I'm not going to necessarily complain too much about. It's just wild how much different the tone is of this game in general, much less the community, when we get an update where we have so much stuff to do and discuss, right? And it kind of feels like, you know, a game again. Hey, we got Magaki. Cool. Okay, awesome. I will not be using my selector on his finisher. I'm definitely going to be using it on another copy of him. But that is awesome. I will definitely take that. Okay, last one, and then we get to the pity, and then we can move on to the actual banners. But yeah, overall, we have plugins now, which are new. The plugin dungeon I've played quite a bit of already. I actually cleared the yellow one using, just trying to get a little prep in for the upcoming banner. If you guys didn't see, we should be seeing a dual yellow banner for Volume 2 with Psyche and Kusanagi, but I'm just kind of getting ready for them. But I did clear that with my Lady Goenitz. That wasn't at all very difficult. There's only 2 tiers of it open right now, so that isn't really that big of a deal. So I did that, and then with the purple one, I got through both tiers with the aforementioned Mukai, who is a lot of fun and actually a pretty good little character, albeit a little wonky. I'm still kind of getting used to him, as well as the whole UI shtick in general. So I played plenty of that. That seems like it's going to be fun yet grindy, but not anything too crazy just yet. But the higher tiers are not open yet on that. And then, of course, we got kind of the standard fare in the game right now as far as events are concerned. And we got plenty other stuff we can discuss. But let's talk about real quick what we're going to do here as far as strategy goes on these cards now that we are done with the actual event banner. So when it comes to the cards, right now we need everything. We're definitely going to want everything on here, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that there's like a giant priority. Ash is the priority of the video, but until we see what we get for the fighters, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this card here is the priority today, but it is a priority. So we just want everything, long story short. So we're just gonna kind of jump into the cards. I believe I have those 6. It was 6, right? Kind of just battle card summon. Yeah, these guys here. We're just gonna use these real quick, and then we can get into the actual multis, right? So we'll see if we can get lucky here. Then we got a lot of multis to get through, and I'm really hoping that we can maybe strike a little bit of gold with these, because for me personally, even though I got a lot of rubies right now, I really want to be able to have as much as possible for this next banner, because I'm actually kind of excited for that banner. Not gonna lie to you guys, no cap, it looks great. So I'm kind of hoping that we can just get a little bit of luck here, but we'll see what happens. Now, we got through those. Let's start on these. Now, these are going to be multi, so I don't want to do that. That they try to trick you there. Be careful if you're doing what I'm doing, and let me know in the comment section what you guys think about not just the update, but what you did on these banners, how you did on these banners. Let me know. I'm very curious. I'm always curious to see how everybody's doing on that stuff. So we are getting a card. Hopefully it's an Ash Crimson finisher. Perfect. Awesome. We'll take those. All right, now what is the effect on it? Attack. Interesting. Okay, we will take it. We'll take it. Not a big deal. All right. Next one. I already know I'm going to end up, and I was thinking about this last night, prepping for this video. I was like, if I end up hitting on these these multis, if I end up hitting the thing and just opening them all at once, that's gonna suck so bad. So now I'm like super paranoid about it. All right, so we got nothing on that one. Try this again. See, every time I'm like, ugh. All right. So overall, though, I think that the update is really good. There's a lot, like I said, as more. Thor just took out a couple of Daredevils, and I don't know who else. Oh, Spider-Man. A bunch of people just fell off of a shelf at my feet. Maybe that's an omen of things to come. All right, let's see here. Where was I? Are you gonna turn? Probably not. Okay. But yeah, when it comes to the update itself, again, great update. I think that besides the server hiccups, it's turning out great for a lot of people out there. I've seen a lot of positive words coming from the community when it comes to this update. And if you talk about this update, you kind of got to talk about the other half of it as well. And I feel like the first half of it, oh, that's a lot of red. Somebody turn. Anybody? No? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. That is going to be the Maki finisher. Let's see. By the way, I'm done with the Kaguras. After this one, we're done. We're done for a while. We don't need any more Kaguras. All right, so we'll take those. Got the crit one. Not bad. Should do this again. But right now, we have both finishers. That's what we got. So, you know, when it comes to the overall 2-part update as a whole, it feels like they basically tried to do kind of like a collaboration, but just using King of Fighters stuff. And I know some people are upset that we didn't get a collab for this anniversary, but I think I would argue immensely towards this point that we needed this update way more than we needed any sort of anything else. We did not need any sort of collaboration whatsoever in order to get us to the point we're at with this update. This update is full of stuff that should have happened in the past year, like I had mentioned earlier. So if it took us using the anniversary for this, I'm all for it. I have no issue with it, because this right here has kind of reinvigorated the game in a lot of ways. I think that they could have easily, and I talked about this in the Discord when the leaks started to come out, when they announced UE fighters, if they would have made it a new rarity with, you know, different pull rates that would have been even more abysmal than what we're used to, or you needed a bunch more memories for EX fighters than you already did, and etc., that would have probably tanked and killed the game immediately. Like, it would have probably, I said this again in the Discord, I talked about all this, it would have probably seen a spike in revenue for the first month when people tried out the stuff, but then after that, it would have just flatlined and it had been the end of the game. And the game has been struggling a little bit financially anyway, sorry to say, but it has been. So at that point, you kind of got to wonder, okay, if we get a new rarity, can we handle that? The answer is no. Well, thankfully they handled it correctly. No issues there. I feel like most people are happy with, you know, kind of what they're looking at when it comes to that. Guess we're not going to get any of the set here because I think we're down to the last multi. But that's fine. We got both finishers. I'm not going to complain about that. We just need to get the fighters now, which is always the hardest part. So yeah, I feel definitely strong positive emotions towards the overall update, even with the first part of it being a little lackluster for some. I know some people were kind of disappointed that, you know, Chris and Shermie weren't necessarily as OP as they were used to. But for me personally, I felt like, you know, as kind of just a stepping stone to get to this point where we're getting, you know, new story mode, new game modes, you know, new character levels that we can get to, you know, new features when it comes to skills as far as equipments go. We get more of that and a new dungeon for it. We get all kinds of stuff, right? So I think that when you kind of combine it all, the slight disappointment that Chris and Shermie are slightly below the average that we're used to, I don't think you can really complain too much, unless you're just a super fan of them, at which point you can complain all you want. All right, guys, so here we are now at the fighters, and we got both finishers. As you guys just saw, we got the attack finisher for Ash, and for Maki, we got the critical for Maki, I believe, yeah. So now we have 11 multis, as I said earlier. This one here, we want to do this. Okay, again, a little paranoid that I'm going to do the wrong thing there. So yeah, guys, overall, let me know how you feel about... All right. Oh, it's blue. I haven't actually... I didn't want to spoil... Even if you hide your heart, the mirror will still see through it. All right, so we're getting Maki. I'm sorry, I can only get so excited for Maki in this game because we have so many of her sister. Shizuru is everywhere, and I just feel like I'm looking at the same character model over and over and over again for obvious reasons. So, all right, guys, so we got Maki, first multi, perfect, great stuff. We have her finisher, so this is good. But we need to get Ash. That's who we want. So, let's go. Come on. Really want to get that Ash. Both characters, like I said, look insane. They look really good. I'm happy either way with the way that this has turned out for the character side of things. I think we're getting plenty of free characters in here to keep, you know, the free-to-plays, quote-unquote, happy. But, you know, at the same time, we're also getting plenty of stuff in here that should be good to keep everybody happy, no matter where they're at in the game, whether they just started. We got the Ruby refund. We've got all these new events. Everything in this update is going to cater to someone out there, right? So I feel like everybody should have something that they can be happy with, and they've been very generous with the rewards. My worry is going forward, if the generosity outside of the anniversary continues, time will tell. I think that they're definitely trying to woo people back and lure people back with what they're doing with this anniversary in particular. And we've talked about anniversaries in the past year. We've covered a few of them. When it comes to these anniversaries, you've got to make sure that there's bang for your buck, that people are happy, that they're getting what they want, and that it goes over well, because a bad anniversary, again, guys, repeat after me, kills gacha games. So you got to make sure your anniversaries are strong. One of the most important, if not the most important, calendar dates of your year if you're a gacha developer. And I feel like Netmarble's done a really good job with it. It just comes down to how they finish it off. I think that there is still room in here to add a little bit more. I think that they could probably give people a little bit more when it comes to the freebies. We'll see what this is. It doesn't matter, but it's been a while since I've seen that quote. But we don't need you. We've since A5'd you a long time ago, and well, there's now a better version of you. Which the nostalgia feels, I know it sounds weird, it's only been a few years, but the nostalgia feels getting a new Mukai and playing with him for the first time in years. I remember when I first pulled Mukai. I remember vividly where I was. I was at work playing video games, but I was at my office desk and I pulled him on the day that he dropped. I remember that vividly. So yeah, kind of wild, the nostalgia feels that I got playing around with a new Mukai. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. All right, so we are roughly, I think we're halfway. Yeah, we're over halfway through these, and no Ash. So not looking good for us, boys and girls. Not looking good, but we're obviously probably going to go in on this banner at some point. I just want to wait and see kind of what's going on with the second volume. Again, Psyche and Kusanagi. I like Kyo, so Kusanagi, it's close to a Kyo, but you know, it's a character that I would really like to have a really good version of in this game, and it looks like we're going to be getting him. Hey, we're getting another one. All right, so please be Ash, and this video is great. Ha, damn it. All right, well, it's okay. It's okay. We have an A1 Maki, so I'm not going to complain too much. Again, we're going to be coming back to this banner, and it's all free tickets, so I'm not complaining. It's great. But yeah, we're definitely going to be coming back to this banner. But again, Kusanagi, definitely a selling point for the second banner. Please be Ash. Be Ash. Be Ash. Yes! Let's go, guys. Come on. All right. Awesome. These tickets are fire. Okay, so you know what? Hey, I'll take them. I'll take them. All right, last one. Whatever happens here happens. It'd be wild if I got another Ash, because then I could A1 both of them and have a finisher on tickets, but I'm not gonna get two. Yeah, see, that isn't gonna happen. All right, well, I'm happy with how this turned out. I think that was good. You guys can let me know in the comment section, but insofar as tickets are concerned, I think we did pretty good. I'm gonna save this one. It's just one. Are we gonna get more tickets? Nah, we'll just use it. Who cares? I don't think that one ticket's gonna put me over the edge to get me to a multi if we end. I don't think they're gonna give us 9 tickets or something, right? So yeah, it's junk. Whatever. All right, guys. Well, this has been fun. We did pretty well here. Card-wise, again, we are obviously, the cards are going to be the same for the second volume banner outside of the finisher, so that's not a big deal. I'll get the options and the set when we go in on that. We have a ridiculous, because of the ruby refund, amount of rubies here, and they're gonna be good enough and gonna be around long enough for us to be able to use them on the second banner, so that's fine too. We'll come back to the fighters. I'll definitely probably just go to at least one pity here, but we'll see if I want to do multiple. It depends on how the kits turn out on the second volume. If the second volume just looks like absolute garbage somehow, and we're gonna get character trailers, I believe that we're gonna get Kusanagi tomorrow, and then are we getting Psyche the next day? It's something like that. It's the first, I believe, for Psyche. So either way, we're not gonna have to wait too long to see trailers, and then of course a week from now we'll probably have the new banner, so I don't think we're gonna have to wait very long. So I'm gonna wait, be patient. These characters, I have plenty I can play around with. I have Magaki now, play around with him. I have Mukai, like we'd mentioned. I have both of these characters. I can A1 Maki. So overall, I'm happy. But anyway, you guys, I hope that your polls have been going just as well as these went today, and I will make a video for you next week summoning on the second volume banner, as well as potentially the first volume again, and kind of finishing out what I want to get from this first volume of UE characters. But overall, if you guys want my quick and dirty opinion, as I've mentioned throughout this video, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. This stuff looks pretty good. I've played through a lot of it, and I haven't had any real issues since the servers fixed themselves. So overall, guys, this anniversary started out a little rough. There was some trepidation in the middle, but I think that they're going to end up sticking the landing. But anyway, you guys, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all of this stuff and how you're doing on these banners. Who are you most excited for? Are you waiting for Volume 2? Let me know. But before I go, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, so much for coming back, and so much for being patient for me to come out with a video. I promise it won't be another month and a half. It'll be a week at most. But anyway, you guys, that's going to do it for me. You all have fun. Take care. Peace.
Continue.